Or maybe it's not funny and I'm just a psychopath. I was really sad, then I was really happy, and then I was really pissed. Absolutely loving. I mean, hating, but loving. Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another reading vlog where I'm gonna be reading Best Served Cold. So Best Served Cold is the fourth book in the First Law world, and this is the first sort of standalone. Like obviously it's in the same world, but it's not like the story itself is like contained in this book, and it's the first standalone after the first trilogy in the series. And this is a fantasy series, and I really liked the first trilogy, so I definitely had high expectations for this book. I was very excited to get into it, and honestly I needed a win going into this book because the books that I've read this month have all been 3 stars, 3.5 stars, 2.5 stars. Everything's been very just okay. And so, I needed a win with this book, and I was very excited for it and really thinking that it was gonna be that win that I needed. And so yeah, we'll see if that actually ended up happening. And I just want to say that there are definitely spoilers in this video, and let's get into it. Okay, so I got to page 242 of Best Served Cold, which is the first 3 parts. I'm about to start part 4 after this. And we are following a main character called Monza, and she was a mercenary for this guy called Duke Orso. And she was gaining a lot of popularity, and people quite liked her, and her employer was not really happy with that. He literally he tells her, "They will cheer far louder for you, I think, than they ever will for my own sons. They will cheer far louder even than they do for me, their rightful lord, to whom they owe so much. They will cheer, in fact, a little too loudly for my taste." And so he and his people, they try to kill Monza and her brother, and they do succeed in killing her brother. They do, however, not succeed in killing her, but they do think that she is dead. And she is, really badly injured. She is almost dead, and she's found by some guy who sort of fixes her up, and she heals, but she still has and she will always have problems, physical problems from that. Her body is obviously hurt and will always not function as well as it did before. And so she wants revenge on the 7 men who killed her brother and tried to kill her. And she finds Shivers, who is actually a character from the original trilogy, and he's from the north, and he is actually in another city where she was, trying to find new work because he doesn't really want to be just a killer anymore, a fighter or a killer. He wants to be a better man. And yet he finds Monza, who is on a revenge path, and she kind of hires him to help her. And so they kill the first name on her list, and then they go to another city in part 2. And actually I think this has 7 parts, so I'm assuming she kills a person per part. And so in part 2 she goes to a new city and she hires someone else as well to help her, and it's a poisoner called Marvier, I think, and he's apprentice. And so they help kill the second person on the list, but they actually poisoned a whole bunch of people. Like a lot of people died because the second guy on the list, he was a banker, and so they like poisoned all of the ledgers at the bank. So like everyone who touched it or touched them, they died. And so Monza wasn't really happy about that. She just wanted like one person to die, not like a bunch of innocents. So she is not happy with, you know, that approach. And then they moved to another city in part 3. And I mean, but all of these people, like all of these people that she's hired, like Shivers and Marvier and the apprentice, and also another guy called Friendly, they all like still go together with her. They're all like as a group going, like the group is growing. And then in part 3, there are 2 more people that she hires, and they are Casca and Vitari, and they're also like characters from the original trilogy, and so they're also going to help her kill these people. And like she and Casca actually have like a whole past, and now the next people that she wants to kill are like Orso's sons, who are called Ario and Fosker, I think. And so she plans on killing them, and there is like going to be like a huge party because like people are coming from like other areas, and you know a lot of like important people are gonna meet like at that place, at that party. And she is planning on killing both of them there. And actually, someone else who's there is the King of the Union, aka Jizo from the first trilogy, and he's still an idiot, but he's an idiot that I like, so you know, there's that. But yeah, she only manages to kill one of the sons. She kills Ario, and then like chaos ensues. Like the house burns down, it's absolute chaos. So like a bunch of people die once again. And like at the very end, the last thing that I read was that like someone that she kind of blackmailed into helping her sent a letter to Orso, like warning him that she's alive. So, you know, that's obviously not good, but there is where I'm at. And I'm really liking it. I'm not like as obsessed with it as I was with like the first trilogy, but I do really like it. I'm really liking to like be back in this world, and it's definitely fun to see some characters that like I met before. Like I think Jazel was just like it just appeared and it's not gonna appear again, I assume. But like the other like not like such main characters in the first trilogy are I think gonna stay till the rest of the book. I assume, I obviously don't know. But yeah, it's definitely fun to be back in this world. And, you know, as the other trilogy, it's definitely very, like, brutal. It's very violent, but it's also very funny. Even, like, the prologue, it was called Benna Mercato Saves a Life, which, like, Benna was Monza's brother. And then at the end of, you know, the prologue, we learn how he saves a life. And it's very dark, it's very sad, it's very tragic, but also it's very funny because it says, but rather than dashing her brains out on the rocks, she only shattered her jaw against her brother's bloody chest, his mangled body wedged against the base of a tree, which was how Benna Mercado saved his sister's life. So like, that's really sad, but also really funny that that was the title of the prologue, you know? Or maybe it's not funny and I'm just a psychopath. It's also a possibility. But yeah, I'm having fun. I am enjoying it. I also like the main character. Obviously not, you know, the best person, but also they did kill her brother and tried to kill her. So absolutely justified to me that she wants to kill all of them. Absolutely support that. And I do really like her. And yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm having fun. And I'm going to read 1 or 2 more parts and I'll be back. I made it to page 440, so I read parts 4 and 5, and I'm this much into the book. And so after like the letter was sent to Orso, he, obviously learned about the fact that Monza is alive and is like killing people like close to him, the ones that participated in her brother's death and like her attack. And he like hires his own assassins to go after her. And then she, is going after her next target, who's Ganmark, who's like one of Orso's generals or something like that. And actually, like a big part of the group. It's like Monza, Shivers, Casca, Day, and Friendly, I think. They are like caught because like other people think that they're spies. And so Monza and Shivers are like tortured. And Shivers actually like loses an eye, but then they, actually manage to make it out and they do find Ganmark. And there is like a really cool fight scene. And at the end, like Monza does kill Ganmark, but Koska is actually like pretty badly injured and he just tells them to like leave him behind because there's no way that they'll be able to get him out and get themselves out in time. So he just, stays behind. But I was like, I don't believe a character is dead until I see a body. Like, not just in this book, like in general, if I don't see a body, I don't believe that the character is dead. So I didn't believe that Casca was dead, but that was like the end of that part, basically. And then we go into part 5, which is in another city and going for another target. And this new target now is Carpi. And so Monza and Shivers are actually like attacked by the people that were sent after them, but they managed to also make it out. And then Shivers goes talk to Carpi, and basically he is pretending to like be betraying Monza, and like he is supposedly helping Carpi find Monza, but he's just basically actually like leading them, like Carpi and these people, into a trap. And while that is happening, Marvier and they actually have like a whole confrontation, and he ends up killing her, and then he leaves to go work for Orso, or at least he's gonna try to work for Orso. So we're losing members. And oh, I forgot to mention, but in the beginning of part 5, Friendly actually leaves the group as well, but he's like found by someone. Well, we like don't know, like when that happens, we don't know like who finds him. But then, Marvier leaves, Day's dead, and then there is like a whole fight between Carpi and Monza and like their people. And Monza does like kill Carpi, but I feel like this was the only death that actually affected her because it was someone that, she had been sort of like friends with, and he actually, like, he told her like he didn't really like want to do it, but he didn't really have much of a choice. And like he was told that she was trouble, so like he had to kill her. And so I feel like this was the only death that like affected her. But 5 dead, 2 to go. And then at the end of part 5, we find out that Casca is in fact alive. He did not die, like I didn't think that he had. And he was actually the character that had found Friendly. And Monza wants them like all to work again together to go against, because like he's leading a whole like army now, Casca, like the army that he used to lead like before. And she wants them all to work together to fight Orso. But Casca says that he is already working for Orso. So, that was that. Oh, and Vitari also left. I forgot to mention, Vitari also left. So like I was really sad because everyone was leaving, like the group was disbanding, and I was getting really sad because, I was hoping they would all stay friends, or at least like stay together. They had a very interesting dynamic, but like everyone was leaving. So I was sad. And then Casca appeared, and I was like, oh my god, he's actually alive. That's cool. And Friendly was there too, and like I really like Friendly, and so I was happy. And then I found out that Casca is working for Orso. So I was really angry. So I was like, I was really sad. Then I was really happy. And then I was really pissed. And now I'm really pissed because that's where we ended off. So yeah, that's what happened. And I'm still really liking it. I'm not loving it like as much as the like first trilogy. I'm not like as obsessed with it, but I am enjoying it. I feel like maybe I'm not like as obsessed because like it's sort of expected, like what happens, not like, the smaller things, like all of these confrontations. And like I'm loving all of them, like all of these unexpected things, absolutely loving. But like the fact that, her targets are dying is like more or less expected, you know? So I don't know like what the end is gonna be. Like I don't know if Monza herself is gonna die too or if she's gonna like stay alive. Like I don't know that part, but you know, her targets, I'm assuming they're all gonna die. And honestly, like if Orso doesn't die, I'm gonna be upset. But yeah, you know, there's like that aspect of like it being expected. So I'm not like as on the edge of my seat, you know, like not knowing what to expect. But other than that, like I'm really liking it. And like I said, these unexpected parts, like these confrontations, these betrayals, absolutely loving. I mean, hating, but loving, you know? So yeah, I'm still really, really liking it. And I really like this world. I really like the vibe. And I really like the characters. They're all very, like, none of them are like, you know, perfect people, like great, awesome people, but they're all really, really great characters. So yeah, I'm still having a lot of fun. And yeah, that's it for now. I'm going to read the last two parts. I think I have two parts left, and I will be back with my final thoughts, what happened, and all of that to wrap up this video. Okay, so I have finished the book, and in this last third, in the last two parts, we see that, I mean, Monza had already like sort of made a deal with Rogant, who was like Orso's enemy and like his southern friends, to have like an army for herself to fight against Orso. And then we saw before that Koska was working for Orso and like technically more closely to his son Fosker, but he was also paid by Rogant to not fight them. So there was really not like this whole fight, this whole battle that was expected. There was still a battle, but you know, he was being paid by both sides basically. And then we saw someone that like Monza had like kind of blackmailed to help with her revenge before, and she was sent as a spy to Orso because Orso is the father-in-law of the King of the Union, and so that person actually works for the Union, technically for Glokta, and so she was sent as a spy to Orso, but she was also like technically working for Orso, but like having Orso as an enemy, like she was kind of okay with, like, I mean, not okay, but you know, she wasn't as fearful as having Glokta as an enemy. And so Glokta wants Monza dead. So that person talks to Shivers because she thinks that Shivers might be the one to help kill Monza. And then Fosker is like actually given to Monza by Koska like as a gift. And she was, you know, there to kill him because he's on her list. And then she actually like is doubting whether she should kill him or not because he was like, I didn't really have much of a choice. Like I was thrown into that, and like I was told that it was the right thing to do because he was gonna betray my father, and like I kind of had to, but like it's not like I had a choice. And so Monza is like maybe thinking about being merciful and not killing him, but then Shivers kills him. So 6 people down, 1 to go, only Orso to go. And then we see that Morvir, who had like left Monza and her people, he talks to Orso to offer, you know, his services as a poisoner, and he wants Morvir to kill Monza, and not only Monza, like a bunch of people. And then Rogant like names Monza as the Great Duchess of Talons, and while she's like giving her speech, Morvir tries to kill her like at that moment like with a dart, but it actually fails. And then there is like the coronation of Rogant as like the king of Styria, which is like the whole territory of this book basically. And everyone who like touched his crown died, including obviously Rogant himself, but not Monza because like she did touch the crown, but she had gloves on because like one of her hands was like really like very disfigured still from like when they tried to kill her in the beginning. So she, you know, was using gloves. And she didn't die. She was the only one who touched the crown and didn't die because it was poisoned by Morvier. And then Casca and Monza had like a whole conversation about, their past, their future, the betrayals that they have done to each other, and then they're going for Orso, like for where he's hiding, and like the people that he has still with him, and they're going to attack. And then Morvier actually tries to kill Casca, but Casca manages to kill Morvier instead, which I thought was fantastic. And then Shivers is like really tired of how Monza has been treating him. And so he decides to actually try to kill her for real. And he is, attacking her. But then Friendly gets there and he starts fighting Shivers. And like the two of them are fighting for like quite a long time. And like if they had killed Friendly, I would have been so pissed because I love Friendly. But none of them like end up dying. And then Monza finally confronts Orso at the end. And we learned that like actually her brother Benna, he was like planning on, actually betraying Orso and trying to get like his position, get everything that he had. And Monza didn't know about that. But, Orso's fears of like betrayal, like weren't completely wrong because he was gonna be betrayed, just not by Monza. It was just Benna. Like Monza never planned on betraying him. She never planned on doing any of that, but Benna actually did. But yeah, they fight and Monza actually kills Orso and her revenge is complete. She has killed the 7 people that she'd set out to kill. And, with Orso dead and with Rogon dead, now Monza is actually the one like in charge. And I thought that was pretty iconic. And then the last chapter is actually following Shivers because he had been like caught and he was, sort of in a cell, and he was thinking that he was gonna be, killed for trying to kill Monza, but he was actually released and he is now thinking of going back to the north, like going back home. And that is basically how it ended, and let's go into my final thoughts. So starting off with the characters and starting off with Monza because she's definitely the one that we learned the most about, the one that we spend the most time with, and I really, really like her. Like, do I think that she was a perfect person? Absolutely not, but she was such an interesting character to follow, and like I really liked her. I thought she was a really great character, and yeah, she was really fun to follow. And I mean, fun might not be the word because she was going through it. She was suffering, like all the characters in this series, honestly. But yeah, I really, really liked her. I really like to follow her. I really like to follow her revenge. I really, really enjoyed it. And then Shivers, like I definitely have mixed feelings about because, at first I was really liking him. And then like, I understand that he was done with Monza, but he didn't have to try to kill her. I didn't like that. So yeah, I definitely have mixed feelings about him, but I feel like I have mixed feelings about like most people in the series. So, not unexpected to have mixed feelings about this character, but like overall, I do like him, but there were some instances that I definitely did not really like him as much. And then Casca, also definitely have mixed feelings about him because like in some times like I really like him, then I really didn't like him, and then in the end I actually ended up liking him. So again, very mixed feelings. Then Morvier I just really didn't like, so no mixed feelings about that. And Friendly, also no mixed feelings because I just really liked Friendly. And like I said, if he had died, I would have been so pissed. I would have been so angry. And yeah, I really, really liked him. And then Vitari and Day, like I liked them, but I feel like we didn't get really enough time with them to like for me to really connect as much to them, or like maybe we did but I didn't connect anyway. But like they were fine, but I didn't connect that much to them. I mean, Vitari like already knew her from before, but yeah, they were fine. I didn't love them, I didn't hate them, they were okay. And yeah, like in terms of the plot, I was definitely very invested, even though like I think I mentioned in my other update, it's not like it was like the most surprising things, like the things that were happening. Like I knew that she was gonna probably be killing these 7 people, and that is exactly what happened, but I was still invested. And the little surprises that we got, like the betrayals, the little fights, the everything, I really, really enjoyed it. And I mostly just really liked being back in this world because I really like this world and like all the things and people that we got to see from like the previous trilogy that was really fun as well. And I just really like this writing style that is so like violent and so like brutal, but at the same time so funny. Like I absolutely love that. And honestly, like the ending was so much like happier than I expected, because like the last chapter was called Happy Endings, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, Happy Endings. And like I took a photo of this title and sent it to my friend. I was like, I doubt it. I doubt it, because like the ending of the, you know, initial trilogy wasn't really like that happy. It was very like bittersweet. So I was not expecting it to actually have, you know, happy ending, but it was definitely way happier than I expected. So that was fun. That was great. I love that. And yeah, I really liked it. I wasn't as like in love with it as I was with the first three books, but like there were still so many moments that I was like, oh my god, this is absolutely fantastic. But there were just some other moments where I wasn't, you know, as obsessed with it. But overall, it was a great time. I really, really liked it, and I am giving it 4 stars. So yeah, that is everything for this video. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you have enjoyed it. And if you did, give it a like and subscribe, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!